Okay. Yeah, I actually came up with this idea that the way I'm going to present tonight. I just sort of came up with it at the last minute. And so some of the people that were a part of my alumni, probably if they had known a little bit earlier than today, they probably would have been here. But there'll be other opportunities that in the future for you to meet some of them. But let me go ahead and start the screen sharing. Let's see, I think I'm going to be doing this one. Okay. Now, lastly, I do have the recording. Yeah, it's down here. Great. Well, last week, um, I introduced myself. I introduced multicultural aromatherapy. So I'm not going to go through this whole spiel. So if you're watching this for the first time, I will have a link when I share the recording of this video. I'll have a link to part one. And then that way you can get to know me and the work that I've done. Tonight, you're going to get to know me and the work that I've done by meeting some of the people that I've worked with in the past. And I'm going to try to answer those questions that was in the box uh, in the same way, but through picture form and through the lessons and the experiences that I've had with multiple people that I've worked with. So that should be, I'm going off the top of my head. I just decided once I started going down memory lane, I've forgotten so much. And I was like, I really need to kind of like put this together. So I got a whole picture montage of all of the work or the people that I've worked with in the last 20 years or so. And so this, I hope this you can learn lessons from it. But that's where last week we talked a little bit about multicultural aromatherapy and the work that I've done. And then what is multicultural aromatherapy? Now, this particular course is a aromatherapy certification course. And as I explained last week, I'm going to do a class demonstration after this presentation so that you can kind of see a little bit or get a glimpse into what I was talking about when I said that I took a coach's approach to the trainings that I do. As far as I know, I'm probably the only one that teaches aromatherapy certifications in that manner. Um, but I have gotten multiple people, probably everybody that's been through the course said, I need to teach it this way all the time because that's how they actually got to get it. Now, I'm going to mute whoever came in on telephone because I kind of heard a little background noise. Okay, so what I'm going to do um, is go to my photos here. So if anyone want to know about my teaching background, I have done missionary work for the last 35 years. And back in 1989, I went to a school called Pioneer Service School where we learned teaching skills and so forth. And at first it was like a one and done type situation. Once you go, that's it. But when I was still doing this work 15 years later, I was invited back to that school. And so the teaching techniques changed over the years. And that was one of the reasons why they allowed us to go back again. And so a couple of years later, they set up a program to where we have to attend this school every 5 years. So this is me in right up here in this little corner. In 2019, at this school, and I'll have to move this box so that I can share my slide. Okay. And then uh last year I attended the school. I don't have the class photo, but I did a selfie in the classroom. And those teaching techniques now are so different now that even since 2023, when I last taught this course, I'm going to be implementing some of the things that I learned in this school in 2024 into this upcoming class. I have different teaching techniques and I have different testing techniques. So some people worry about whether or not they're going to pass when they hear chemistry or they hear some of the harder things, the botany, and they see the big words. Like last week when I showed you the standards of education at the AIA and the NAHA website, some people may panic and say, "Oh my goodness, I don't think I can do this." But because of the training that I've gotten over the years in different teaching methods, I'm able to implement that training to the point to where people can actually understand even the most difficult topics in aromatherapy. So don't worry, we'll continue to work with you until you get it. So that's not even a problem. As far as my aromatherapy training, of course, I was apprenticed for 6 months. I took an in-person workshop with an aromatherapist here locally. I've taken two online courses, one of which was the Tisserand Institute in aromatherapy. Got my certification in essential oil safety through that institute. And also, I have my natural health consultant diploma. And as I go through these slides, I also will show you the person that taught me herbal medicine as well. So I have an extensive background in alternative therapies, and I've taken multiple courses. And I personally do continuing education, even though it's not technically not a requirement for aromatherapists, like it is for, let's say, nurses, CNAs, massage therapists, maybe even some other practitioners. They have to take these CEs or what they call continuing education courses. But I do so personally because I teach and I want to make sure that I keep up with the latest. And so this is me in one of the summits that I wasn't a part of this one, but I attended this one last year, and Robert Tisserand was one of the speakers at this summit. And so this is him during the Q&A portion of the summit. And so I took a little snapshot there. Some of the other aromatherapists there, let's see, Lee Wong. Um, I met Felipe at the AIA conference. Then we got two Anna P's. Both of them are Anna. One's from Greece. I think the other one's from America. I met Bertha. She has a technique called aroma wandling or aroma walking. So it's sort of like an aromatherapy forest bathing type technique. And I helped her to name that. I put it in one of my slides at the AIA conference because I said if you don't name it, somebody will take it. So I kind of like, okay, it's Aroma Wandering by Bertha. So we kind of like officially named that at that summit. That's Jennifer Pressimone from Gen Sense. She's the vice president of NAHA. She was at this summit. This at the lady at the bottom is Sharon Chapman now. Used to be Falsetto. I have one of her books. She has a cool, really cool, excellent book. She also has a, a great program herself. So yeah, this is a summit that where you can actually meet aromatherapists who are training, who are authors, who are speakers, and so forth. And that's something that I will be putting on my website to let you know the dates of this one. And in class, as we talk more about the business side and continuing education, I will show you the reason why this summit is highly recommended by me. And that's us in a breakout room. That's Michael Scholes. He's also been an aromatherapist for buku number of years. And I met this lady named Hannah. I forgot what country she was from, but she was showing us the products that she developed once she learned aromatherapy. So they had these little breakout rooms where we could do these activities that could help us propel us in our business or give us motivation. For us to have Michael Scholes in the room with us with all of his years of experience was very helpful. I think that's the one I had to leave early, and that's probably why we're saying goodbye right there. But I think I had to leave there, and I hated that I had to leave. And this was the flyer that we used when we had to advertise that we were at the AIA conference. So this was my speaker. Um, I'm losing my thought here. This was my flyer, I guess you could say, that I used to advertise that I was going to be a speaker. Right now, that AIA conference is available for purchase at the Alliance of International Aromatherapy website. And it's a little pricey. It's like $600. But it had that conference actually had Robert Tisserand, Robert Pappas, a lot of people that were uh, kind of big names in the industry. So yeah, that one was kind of up there. But if it's if it's in your budget, it's a good conference to purchase because you're able to go and earn continuing education credit also, because it will have these tests that you could take and different PDFs that you could download as well. But that's just a thought. One of these days, I will try to show a viewing of the speech that I did when I get a chance to, so that some people can see it. I guess it's okay for me to do that. I'm gonna let them go ahead and purchase, let them sell their packaging or whatever. And maybe sometime this summer, I might try to set up a viewing so that people can see my speech at the conference. So, another organization that I like to give credit to in my journey is Real Sisters Rising. Shay texted me right before and said she wasn't able to make it, and could I send her the replay? But one thing that she did do, she reminded me that I had been in business for 20 years this year, because I have been a founding member of this organization ever since I started in 2005 as a coach. Um, so last year she honored me during Women's History Month. This year she's honoring me for the 20 years of being in business. And she's supposed to set up a interview that I did on her website. And so as soon as that's ready, I will let you know or give you the link to that. But if you are starting out in business, or if you want to be a part of a business association of supportive people, this is one business association that has never let me down. And I'm going to show you some wonderful people that I've met through this organization. Some of them have purchased my aromatherapy courses. And then they also have been doing wonderful things in their business. Okay, so if you're on the fence as to whether or not um, you want to take this aromatherapy course, or you don't know exactly what to do with your certificate or your certification, hopefully some of the people that we talk about tonight will give you some type of inspiration to figure out what direction you're going in. Sometimes people do not know that until they actually start being in the course. And then they figure out as we go along, okay, this is my passion right here. This is where I want to take this. So it's okay to know now, and it's okay not to know now. And so some people develop at different paces, and that's okay. And we're going to talk about some of these people tonight. So the first person that we see here is Chanel Washington. Remember last time I talked about my company MDSA, and then multicultural aromatherapy was sort of like a division of that, and I sort of worked both of them for a while until the multicultural aromatherapy one kind of took off a little bit more. And then every once in a while I do take on private clients from time to time, even, within the last 20 years or so. And so when I first started coaching in 2005, Chanel Washington was my first client. Now, Chanel, she's a nurse that developed a an organic hair care line, and she also had body care products at the time. But now I think that her focus is just the hair care products. At the time, in the late 90s, early 2000s, there were people that um, were a part of this natural hair care movement. And so with this natural hair care movement, it was mainly on the East Coast, starting with like Philly, Baltimore, different parts of New York and New Jersey, and they were popping up natural hair care salons. And so there were a group of women that were wanting to service these salons, similar to what the way Dudley or Mizani, different ones was servicing the chemical salons. They wanted to service natural salons and make those natural products available to natural hair care salons. And so she was one of those that was a part of that. Several of my clients actually were a part of that movement. And that's how I learned so much about natural hair care and natural products and toxic chemicals and so forth, mainly from my clients. I learned a lot from each and every one of them when it came to that. This is one of the products, one of the favorite products that I had. For those of you who are not familiar with um, African American hair, sometimes we need hair grease. And what people don't realize when they're buying hair grease out of the store, that they're actually using petrochemicals. And the petrochemicals actually comes from, it's the result of oil drilling. They noticed that there was this clear substance that was very moisturizing on the end of some drill bits during oil drilling. And that's where petroleum jelly comes from. So you have petroleum jelly, and then you have these petroleum jelly based products. And almost, I would say, every commercial brand hair grease that comes out of a manufacturer has petroleum in it. And so this particular client of mine, she wanted to create a hair grease that did not have petrochemicals or petroleum. And so that was one of my favorite products of hers. So she uh, made hers an essential oil base as well. So there's no artificial fragrance. Not only that, she also taught nurses continuing education classes. And this is the cover of her book that's on Amazon. So she has also become an author. This has been in the works for the last 20 years or so. I've kind of like followed them, and I see some of the things that they come up with over the years. And so that's one of the things that many of the things that she has accomplished personally. So one of my other clients was also maybe within my first three that I had, and that was Inky Loves Nature. This company did not, she's no longer, I don't know where she is. She, was here, and then one day her site was down, and then I don't know what happened. Several other people, we've all been looking for her. But she taught me a lot about branding myself, branding my business. She taught me how to do my own website. She taught me, just so many different things that I did not know in business. But yet and still, we kind of like traded off. While she's teaching me, I'm teaching her and coaching her. And then she also paid me for my services. And so we just had this great, relationship as for a business relationship. And until one day she started having, I guess, personal issues and maybe had to move back to London. That's what I'm thinking happened. Um, because, and then maybe she just didn't reopen. But one thing I can tell you, she was a real threat to the industry. This is part of her products that she had. You see, her graphics were awesome. And I absolutely love that scalp butter because it filled in some thinning hair that's hereditary on the side, and it has not, I have not lost it yet. So I wish you would come back just to bring this product back. But one of the things that showed how much a threat she was to the industry, when I was coaching with her, um, whoever the graphic artist was for Carol's daughter was stealing her stuff. And whenever I wrote a program for her and then she would launch it in her newsletter, then Carol's daughter would come right behind them and make it seem like they were also doing that. And I'm like, why in the world is this multi-million dollar company coming after this mom and pop lady that's making stuff out of her basement? I just did not get that. And at first I thought she was paranoid when she mentioned that to me. But it actually was true. She found out that the guy that was doing their website and graphics and social media was one of her competitors that had always been kind of stealing her work over the years. So that kind of like left a bad taste in my mouth about that company. But I don't think Carol's daughter or Lisa Price, which was the owner of that company, had anything to do with that per se. They just hired their graphic person and hope they do the right thing. Um, but that was something that I thought, she was a real threat to the industry because a lot of people did kind of like come after her a little bit because her product line really could have shot off if she had put it in manufacture, which she didn't because she was afraid of it not going, people stealing it, or she called it reverse engineering it and taking it for theirs and changing it, and so where it's no longer natural, which has been happening lately to a lot of natural brands. So, but she was a joy to work with. This was my first international client. This is Lisa Burke from the UK, and that's probably her daughter with her. This is how I got introduced to aromatherapy. As I was doing work for her, I was injured in a car accident and got a chemical burn from using some muscle cream. And when I had my session with her and I told her about the accident and everything and what happened, and she says, well, why aren't you using the oils? And I said, you mean those little bottles that you sent me? I said, I don't know what to do with those. And so she's like, oh my goodness, I thought you knew. She said, I'm going to have to get you trained because I'm going to need you to train some people over there. And that's how I got in touch. Well, she put me in touch with an aromatherapist on her staff, and I was apprenticed for several months. And I fell in love with essential oils and have never wanted to leave aromatherapy ever since. So this is some of the products that she had. They eventually, I tried to get them a deal with another CEO here because they needed a warehouse here in the United States in order for them to be successful. And because he had a competitor's product, he thought it would be a conflict of interest, but he was interested in hosting her products here, but we just couldn't find another manufacturer. So she ended up merging with another company in the UK. She was also an author, but I worked along with that company for maybe about 8 months. And that was my real foot in the door to the aromatherapy world. Now, this lady, Micheline Coley, is one of my clients. I think some of you may have seen her on one of the videos because someone messaged me and asked who was that lady on the video. So I'm thinking maybe this is who they were talking about. Because at the time in 2023, she was telling me that she was studying traditional Chinese medicine and acupuncture. And so she has had so many goals. She went to a natural health school as she was studying aromatherapy with me. And her professor found out she was taking aromatherapy classes. So she said, if you can get your teacher to send a syllabus and a letter, then I can get you college credit for you taking this outside since we don't offer that. Her school did not offer aromatherapy, and most natural health schools didn't, especially back then. And so I said, well, I've never done it before, but let's try it. I'm gonna draw up something and we'll see if it works. And so when she presented it to her professor, she did get college credit for it. And she was so excited. She messaged me and she was like, yeah, she accepted. So I got some college credit for taking your course. So that was an experience. And over the years, she has used different brands. Her company is Radiance Unlimited. So she would use different brands, most of them from MLM companies, because she said she don't have time to do all of that, do all what it takes. Because, that's a different business. If you come up with your own line of oils and, get them from this place and that place, that's a whole different business. So some people just don't want to do that. They just want to offer their services, but then they want to have something that they can present to their clients if they need it. And they just want to order it from somewhere and give it to them. And so that's kind of how she had approached her business. This was at a trade show where she made her own roller bottles and some bath salts that she was able to uh, sell there at her trade show. Not only has she done that, but she became a certified essential emotions coach. She was studying after a trip to China, traditional Chinese medicine and acupuncture. And so, as of last year, she has completed it and she is an acupuncturist. So, yes, she is definitely one of my success stories. She probably studied with me, I would say, between 2008 and 2010, somewhere around there. So, anywhere from 18 to 19 years ago. The next lady you see here is Michelle. I think I said I wasn't going to forget her new name because she was Finch at the time that she studied, but it's Barrett, I think. Um, Miss Michelle had contacted me and she asked if I had an age requirement for people to study at my classes in my at my take my course. And I said, age requirement. I mean, what does that have to do with anything? It turns out that some schools had actually turned her down because of her age. I said, so we're age discriminating now. I mean, seriously. I mean, I understand that some of those online programs, it might be a learning curve, maybe for some older people, but this lady has done just fine with her social media if you go to her Instagram page. But anyway, I told her there's no problem. And then she was scared about not learning the chemistry and not passing the test. And I said, don't worry about that. If I have to work with you outside of class for a little bit to get you to understand it, I said, I'll do so at no extra cost. So you're more than welcome to join my course. She was so excited. She did wonderful. I never had to um, meet with her outside of class. She got everything in class. She turned in her work. Everything was great. And so I'm looking, I know she I want to say it was her spouse had passed away, but I know it was someone that had passed away and she kind of went offline for a little bit. Then some years later, I get this Instagram request from her. And then I start seeing her videos she's posting. I'm like, what is she doing now? And I'm like, wow, she's doing some herbal stuff. And then I'm looking, she's got her whole botanical pharmacy here. So you never know what people can do. You just got to give people a chance. And so I've heard so many things that people, they turn down people that went to MLM companies. They turn down people just for whatever reason. It's just crazy. It really does happen. But whoever wants to learn, if you can read and you can uh, think, I'm going to teach you. And so now she has her own little botanical pharmacy. And so I saw this on her Instagram. She also actually, I guess, became a travel agent. And so to those who said she was too old to learn, well, she, as you see, in 2023, she's still learning and still taking courses. So who knows? By the fact that I gave her that one shot and did not turn her away, inspired her to do other things later. So that's why I thought I enjoy looking at her videos. She actually grows a lot of those herbs and stuff in her yard. So one of these days I'm gonna get everybody's that I've taught that's doing stuff uh get their information on a website so people can go to their websites and so forth. I've been trying to get them, but I'm trying to get them to turn in the stuff to me. So that's going to be up to them because I'm not going to be writing all these profiles and stuff. They're going to have to turn that stuff in. Margaret Wright. She is the owner of Mom's Herbs. Years ago, she and I used to talk herbs all the time. She was an herbalist and she would help me out with my fibromyalgia. Well, I guess I must have called her too much because she said, you know what, I'm gonna send you through my class. And because she was teaching this herbal course, she said, I'm not gonna charge you. You just buy your supplies. I'm just gonna let you come in because you really need this because of your fibro. My fibro was totally out of control. I was relying completely on conventional medicine. And it wasn't until I went through her course that I learned how to use herbs. And then that's when things started to change for me with my fibromyalgia. So I take her course. I learned everything I possibly could. I earned my certificate. And then some years later, we kept in touch. We do, chit chat. We always in these networking groups together. We always support each other. So some years later, she messaged me and she said, yeah, for some reason, yeah, my mind, my spirit is telling me I should become a massage therapist. And so I'm going into massage therapy school. I know I'm up in age. Not, that what she said. She's older than what a massage therapist would be, but she said, I want to go back to school and become that. So I said, okay. I said, let me know when you finish. So maybe a year later, she's posting her graduation pics, and I said, oh, okay. I see you finished your massage therapy training. I said, I have a course coming up in a few months, and I'm enrolling you in it at no charge. And she's like, what? I said, yeah. I said, I was just waiting for you to get your massage therapy license, because of how generous you were by letting me become an herbalist through you. I said, I'm gonna send you through my course in aromatherapy so you can use aromatherapy skills with your massage clients. So she was elated. And of course, and she's in Chicago. I think Margie is from Chicago. Mm, excuse me. And so this is the spa that she's at, Sacred Therapy Spa. There she is right there. And not only that, she also teaches aromatherapy workshops. So Margaret is one of multicultural aromatherapy success stories. Another success story, she's one of my Real Sisters Rising networking partners, and that's CC Caldwell Miller. I met her through Real Sisters Rising. Everybody always supported each other in business. So when the opportunity came along, when she was doing a wellness coaching, she said, I think I need to add aromatherapy to it. So she decided to take my aromatherapy course. So today she is an author of multiple books. She is a coach. She has been doing wellness coaching for several years and always include essential oils into her coaching practice. Sometimes you will see her, diffusing when she's doing her videos and so forth. So, this is one of her books. I think I need to catch up because I didn't know she had at least three books out. Mm. Mm. Excuse me. So yeah, I'm about three or four books behind. So I need to catch up with Cece. This is Tori Tilton. Now I'm hoping as I go through these, you're developing an idea of how you can use your aromatherapy certifications. Because that's what some people they graduate and then they're like, what do I do now? And so you can use them in so many different ways. You just have to use it in conjunction with something in order for it to be legal here in the United States. And that's why I was talking about regulations. You can't just take your certificate and say, hey, I'm an aromatherapist. I can start prescribing and all this. You can't do all that. It doesn't matter if you have, uh, no matter how big the program is, how much the program is, you can only use the certification, degree, or whatever diploma or whatever it is that they call it. You have to use it the same way as everybody else. If you're a clinical aromatherapist and you're a certified aromatherapist or a registered aromatherapist, we'll talk about the differences of those in class. It does not matter which level of aromatherapy you're in, you have to use the certificates the same way. And it has to be in conjunction with another modality. And so we'll talk more about that And that's why wellness coaching, a lot of people do the coaching thing because that is usually how people who aren't massage therapists or Reiki masters or whatever, that's some of the things that use being a coach is one way that they use their certificate. But in this case, Tori is a soap maker. I actually had two soap makers in the class that I had in 2023, and Tori was one of them. She has goat's milk soap, so that's why you see the goat there. And oh, her soaps are totally awesome. There's a package of products that she sent to me. Um, she all of her products are organic based, um, essential oil based. That's why I love her soap so much because sometimes they'll have natural soaps, but then they'll put artificial fragrance in them, and I still can't handle that. So I have to, everything that I do use has to be with essential oils only because I can't deal with artificial fragrance at all. But Tori went on after she finished her certification here. She got her basic foundation. She went on to the Tisserand Institute to study essential oil safety to get her certification there. So I asked her, I said, do you think I prepared you enough for that Tisserand course? Because I took it and it wasn't easy. I can tell you that. It was not easy. It can be done. I'm not saying don't do it, but sometimes it takes you some years of experience and maybe some years of studying in order to get that. And so I said, so you went just straight from this course into that one. I said, did I teach you enough for you to go through this and pass? And so she said, yes. She said, I got a good foundation. I'm able to understand everything. I was like, oh, good. Okay. So my job is done. My job is done. So, yeah. So she went on to do that because of her being a formulator. And then the Tisserand Institute also has a good program on formulation, too. So, um, I usually, when people want to formulate their own products and wanted to do it legally, and make sure you get the testing done and all that kind of stuff. I usually refer people out to them after you've gotten your foundation. And this is why we're here getting your foundation. So I have this. Some of you are from Go to Sana or HBN or Green Organics International, whichever one you want to call it, which happens to be an MLM company. Um, my friend Marcus messaged me one day. I think the person that was supposed to do the aromatherapy training that evening couldn't do it. And so he told me that someone's going to message you and ask you, could you fill in for tonight? And I know it's last minute, but we don't have anybody that knows enough about the oils to do this call. So I said, yeah, she can message me. I'm not doing anything tonight. And so she messaged me and she put me right in. I said, look, I said, I'll print out these sheets, the product information pages. I said, but it's going to be completely off the dome. I said, because I'm at work right now. I'm not going to get off until a certain time. And by the time I get to do this class, my brain might be shot. So she said, I don't care. As long as somebody knows something, you know. So that's how I ended up being a trainer with this company for a few months. And they were like, how many times can you do this? Can we schedule you for more time? And so at the time I was off work during the summer. So I just sort of said, well, I'm not doing anything. Sure, I can do this for a while. And so that's how I ended up training with this company. Some aromatherapists kind of feel some type of way about training people that comes from MLM companies. And for a long time, I refrained from being a part of any MLM company, even though I used to sell home interior, Jafra, and then Avon. And those are really considered direct sales, but some of them did have like a little MLM component to them. But they weren't really considered MLM companies. But anyway, because of all the controversy in the aromatherapy world, I was skeptical. And then I got criticized in the early years. So I just didn't sell, do anything, didn't be involved in it. If I did, I didn't let anybody know about it. I just purchased stuff for myself. And so, but I've always had a soft spot for it because I know that direct sales can work and have worked for me. And just because a person doesn't understand it or they may feel some type of way about it, doesn't mean that you have to insult the people that are a part of it. And that's one of the main reasons why a lot of people took my course because I didn't do that. Whereas some other aromatherapy companies did, unfortunately. And so I did the call with them, and it sort of like was a good practice for me because I was able to have a lot of confidence by the time September came and I did the speech at the AIA conference. But it was fun while it lasted. I don't know if they'll invite me back. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I told them I'm going to be really, really, really busy this year, so I'm not even sure if I'll be able to do that. But one thing that will go in my upcoming book is a chapter on the history of aromatherapy and MLM companies. So when I was interviewing Deb Atterby, she gave me a specific quote. I forgot to go back and look at it to see what it is, but I'm not even going to reveal it until I put it in the book. But one thing when I told her that I had taught this group of MLM people, she said she said teach them. She said they still need to learn. It doesn't matter, what their company tells them. It doesn't matter what kind of oils they are. It doesn't matter how much they paid for them. They still need to know how to use them. So teach them. If they want you to teach them, teach them. And I said, that's it. And so that's where I stand on that. And that's why I did teach that class on this particular product because I absolutely love it. One of the few hair products that is 100% natural with essential oils and not artificial fragrance added to it. And so that's why I've taught people from MLM companies. This is Dana. She used to be with Simply Aroma. I call her my ride or die because if anybody talk about me online, Dana's gonna come for 'em. Just like Beyonce got the Bayhive and Taylor Swift got the Swifties. I'm gonna have to name my crew and put Dana as number one because she always used to tag me and stuff. These people talking about you, this and that, just because you taught people from direct sales. And I said, yes, yeah, I know. But anyway, she was one of my clients in those turbulent times, but she's always stuck by me for years. If she see me ranting online, she'll send me a little message, "You okay, girl?" This and that. So yes, I definitely had to give homage or give flowers. You know how we do, we give flowers while people are still here to show how much we appreciate them. I definitely had to do that with Dana. Same with Ray War here. Um, Sorry about the picture, Ray, if you're watching this later. I wasn't I was trying to find one on Facebook, so I just used your Facebook profile. And some of the other pictures that was on there, I was like, is that her or is that somebody else or who is that? So I said, just to be on the safe side, let me just put her profile picture up. But yeah, she has kept up with me. A lot of these people have stuck with me for upwards of 20 years. And some of them they get their certificate and they do their thing. And so I may not hear from them for a while, but they're out there working and doing their thing. Moms are attracted to my program because I always taught them live, and they weren't able to have the live experience when they had small children. This young lady had twin boys. This is one of them. He was sick and he wanted mommy. So she posted this on Facebook, and it pops up in my memories every once in a while. And so as she's studying, he's over there, got his tablet studying too. So that's why a lot of moms tend to be attracted to this program, because of the fact that I have been very accommodating. If you got to hold your baby, put everything on mute. That's fine. Whatever it is you got to do to in order to get this class done, we are open to that. Therese Prentice, she was one of the ones that actually gave me the idea to use this coaching approach method that I've been using, that is teaching people in groups. She was the one that organized a group of people for me to teach in one group setting, and we negotiated a price. And so her group split the cost, and that's how I started teaching larger groups of people, because her group was a group of 20. And I was like, I think I'm gonna have to implement that into my business. But on the after she got certified, she actually had been teaching other people in her community and teaching certification. She's also have gone into subtle aromatherapy, into I guess you could say metaphysical astrology, crystals, that sort of thing. So that's how she is currently um using her certification. And this is Amy. She also came from the direct sales world and still dabble in it from time to time. At first, she didn't really know what to do with her certification. First, she just wanted to learn how to uh, use them safely. Excuse me. Mm. You see where my timing is, because I'm just talking. Okay. So, but a few years later, she decided, she said, you know what, I think I want to try to do this as a business and try to make something work. So I want to take your course again. And I said, well, it's the same thing that you took. There are other people that have some courses that I can recommend. She said, no, I want to take yours. She said, I like your style. I like the way you teach. I like what you stand for. I want to take yours again. I don't care if it's the same. So about two or 3 weeks in, she calls me and she said, are you sure this is the same course? And I'm like, yeah, it's the same outline, it's the same thing. She said, I feel like I didn't even go to school because this course is so different. She said, I'm comparing the notes that I had from the last time to what I'm learning now, and it is different. And I was like, I'm thinking to myself, what's making it different? And then I thought about it. I said, you know what? I customize each course according to the students. So whichever students are in that particular course, that's what we talk about the most. And so she said, that's gotta be it. And so, but she actually paid full price twice to take this certification course. And she was doing some direct sales stuff, but then now I think she's moving into some type of, I would like to call it transformative coaching. I think she's just sort of figuring it out because I've been seeing some of her videos, and that's why I got this screenshot from one of her videos. And I was like, she sounds a lot like some of these coaches that call themselves transformative coaches, where they help to transform people's lives and help them to tap into themselves and so forth. Some other people that I want to give recognition to: Lisa Marie. I never, I never knew a name other than Lisa Marie. I'm sorry, but I just kind of went there. But she was actually the first person from Go to Sauna at the time. Before there was HBN, there was Go to Sauna. So she was the first person that took a certification course with me from that company. Lisa Marie Abruzia, Dion Blanks, Brenda Hayes. All of these ladies have been so supportive over the last upward of 20 years, and I certainly appreciate that. I even did a consultation with a Buddhist monk with the internet name Peter. And that was interesting because he's actually famous. And he doesn't he wanted to like navigate through the internet um without people knowing who he is. And so he contacted me, and he often used to refer some of the people that he would do counseling with. He knew a lot of people that had chronic pain, and then he would refer them to me as clients. So thank you, Peter. And he also was the first one to show me that I was showing up over the internet internationally. I didn't know that. It was some kind of global website. I think one of his friends saw it and wanted to know more about the fibromyalgia for his wife. And so he referred that client to me. And I was like, wow, thanks for that. So, yes, I have had some really wonderful people over the years to be supportive. So, here we have Brenda Peoples, because I had two Brendas in the same class. So, it was Brenda Hayes, and this is Brenda Peoples. And she just renamed her business, and I keep forgetting it. It was Glow. Let me see if it's on one of those things. Glow and Flow Skincare. That's what it's called now. But she's actually a Reiki master and a Yoni practitioner. And so she has her own Yoni line of products. There's the steam, there's the soap, and she has a turmeric line of products. I've only tried the soap. She came out with the butter and the scrub and the oil later, or the wash later. But she mainly is a wholesaler. So if people wanted to start their business, she sets them up with wholesale accounts, and they can label their own products. It's sort of like a private label, or that you maybe can carry her label. I'm not sure. But yes, mainly her main clients are wholesalers. So that's another option, that you could service people so that they can purchase from you wholesale. And that is a very lucrative business, because I always have a business model that I used to tell people all the time, that if you do business with people in business, that's how you stay in business. Because business people have to have certain expenses and costs and overhead. And so if we can service business people, then you'll always have steady clients. This is Vanessa Phelps. She is my first teacher's student. She had approached me about learning more about how to present in public, how to organize a program, how to teach in general, do classes. And so she wanted to um, develop more skill in that area. And I was like, I would like to develop a teacher's program. I said, but I don't have one right now. I said, the only thing I could do is use you as a guinea pig and we can try something and we'll see how it works out. And then if it works, then maybe I can package that later and resell it. So what she did was in the 2023 course that I did, she shadowed me in the course and saw how I was teaching, saw the different things. Sometimes I would have her take note of something while we were doing the course. And then we would meet separately, maybe once every couple of weeks, to help her to develop the program that she was doing and to talk about what she was learning. So this was in 2023 when we did this. In 2024, she had at least, if I recall, two major speaking engagements. One in with the Handmade Soapers Guild. It was like one of the top soap making organizations. And she's also developed about two or three multiple classes that she teaches in her community. She's been very busy. She also has bookings for this year at another soap makers conference. So maybe the little shadowing worked a little bit. So that's why I had offered the teachers program to anyone who were already certified that wanted to participate in that. Um, because what we do is to help you to um, learn your audience because she had multiple audiences that she was teaching. So she had to pivot and change for each thing. And it was just different projects she was working on. And so that's what we do is just work on it together while you shadow and learn a little bit about how I do my teaching method. She also, like I said, she's a soap maker, so she also has a soap company as well. And this is one of the speaking engagements that she did at Emily's Aroma Trust Summit, which I will be telling you all about that in class. So that you can prepare for that because I highly recommend that you take advantage of this particular summit only. I don't have time to go into the details as to why, but this one is definitely one that you do not want to miss. Kayshawn Brooks, she happened to be one of my one-time consultation persons. I saw her post something about being a pain warrior because of fibromyalgia. And so I reached out to her and we had a wonderful conversation and consultation. I actually became an ambassador for her products. Didn't really know how to do that, but I will be listing that in my apothecary page and offering a 20% discount to anybody who visits that page because I um, am an affiliate. But I absolutely love her product line. Her product is also 100% natural, 100% essential oil based. These are some of the things that you could possibly do with your aromatherapy certification. This is one of my favorite body butters. I have eczema, sensitive skin, all of the above. This butter gets rid of it. Eczema patches gone within 24 hours. All the itchiness and flakiness gone within 24 hours. So I usually don't put my name behind people, and especially, sometimes you're a little partial if they've been a client. But she had this line out before I even had this consultation with her. I was trying to uh find out more she was trying to find out more about pain, coming up with some type of pain oil or something. And so that's what that was about. So because she already had her skincare and facial products and all that stuff uh on lock, so to speak. So yeah, she is uh one of my one-time consultation clients. Here she's featured, she's been featured on the cover of several magazines, I guess, business magazines here and there. She does all kinds of trade shows, and she even have a celebrity endorsement for her products, and all the while living with chronic pain. I think her fibro is actually worse than mine's. Uh, she tells her story that she got slammed into an elevator. The doors closed in on her. And that's how she ended up developing fibromyalgia and probably trigger points and all kinds of stuff. But she still is running her business successfully. So she's like an inspiration to me and to anybody who's suffering with chronic pain issues. Now, if this person looks a little familiar, this is not me when I was 21. This is actually my younger sister, uh, Sheena. She is a she's always been a hairdresser because she always used to play in our hair all the time, even as a baby. She loved it. So she didn't have a choice but to become a beautician. But she also later became an esthetician and massage therapist. And so she uses essential oils in all type of ways. Mainly, her massage clients have pain, and so that's why she used to work in a chiropractor's office, but they overworked her because everybody wanted her massages. And by law, they can only do, I think, 5 massages a day. And they were booking her 10, and it was exhausting her. So she quit and she did her own thing. So she developed her own oil for certain conditions. Um, she also developed her own hair oil. And one of her clients, it was inspired by my mother because we have thyroid issues in our family, so our hair thins a lot. So my mother was starting to lose her hair. And so my sister kind of developed something that kind of helped grow it back and made it a little thicker. And so this is one of her clients that actually had alopecia. This is filled in. But before, I couldn't find the picture where she didn't hardly have any hair in the top of her head. And so this was before her hair oil. Uh, before her hair, this is after her hair oil. And so now, before, she didn't have enough hair for her to do a protective style on her. So that's when you braid your hair to the scalp and then you add the hair, add weave hair to it, for those of you who don't know what a protective style is. And so this client, she was like, I don't think I grew enough yet to have it. Well, my sister said, yeah, we can work something out. I can braid it in a way, and this is how it looks, how it ended up looking. So that is the protective style that she was able to put on her hair when this lady did not even have enough hair to braid to be able to do that. And so this is her hair oil that she developed, and it was 100% natural with essential oils. So one of my other clients, this is, I said I wasn't going to forget her new last name, but she was Natasha Rector at the time. I forgot what it is. I should have wrote it down. But she has a candle company, and she was one of my Real Sisters Rising referrals. So sometimes that's another good thing about that organization. They will, if what they have doesn't work, then they're going to send you to somebody else. And so she got referred to me, and we worked together to help get her candle line launched. And if I think the pandemic, of course, shut everybody down. And then I think I know she had went through a divorce and some other personal things. And so I saw recently, within the last couple of years, she came back out with her candle line. And there's another picture of that. And so we had a great time working together on that. And last but not least, now this is just a handful of people that I worked with over the last 20 years. So I'm not saying that these are the only people, but these are the ones that I know that have been doing a lot of work and have progressed over the years that I'm sharing with you today. But Jasmine Lawrence, she is the owner of a product called a company called Eden Body Works. And I'm going to show you the picture because you would probably have seen her products in Walgreens or Walmart because she's in major retailers across the country. And Jasmine started her company when she was around 11 years old. And she was, she it was inspired by the fact that a relaxer took out her hair. So she started um, made her own natural hair product for her hair to grow back. And she also was one of my clients that wanted to service natural hair care salons. I think all these women at the time had the same idea, only she was a step ahead of the other ladies because she actually had this demographic sheet. She had everything all planned out. All she needed was for me to develop a program for her and also to train the reps. Well, while I was in the process of developing all of this, Oprah Winfrey called her. And whenever Oprah had people on the show, she calls them directly. I actually had two clients, Inky Loves Nature, that I showed you earlier, and Jasmine. Both of them both got calls from Oprah. Actually, during the time that I was working with them, to be honest with you, yeah. But she got the call. So her mother was considered, she was the CEO because Jasmine was still in school at the time. So her mother was doing all of the major operations. So her mother calls me and she says, Oprah called. I said, huh? She says, Oprah Winfrey called. She wants us to get products to them within 24 hours. And Jasmine can be on the show. And I said, seriously? She said, do you know anybody in Chicago? And I said, yeah, I know somebody who knows somebody in Chicago. She might be able to convince her to take some products over there because she wanted someone to pick up the products because at the time she was in Whole Foods Market in Chicago. So they were going to pick up products from Whole Foods and take it directly to the Oprah studio. So I called my friend. My friend said, yeah, it was her best friend. I'll call her to see if she could do it. She agreed to do it. And so I called Jasmine's mom back and I said, yeah, I found somebody that could do that for you. And she says, we'll keep her as backup number two. I got somebody going over there right now. So we'll make sure she can do it. If she can do it and it's successful, then great. If not, we'll call your person. So that person got the products to the studio, and that's how Jasmine got on Oprah. So while she's on Oprah, we're getting, once it aired, okay, we're getting multiple phone calls. Their orders, phone calls, and that's the reason why um, Oprah asked for the products within 24 hours because they know once it airs that you're going to get such an influx that your business have to be structured right and it has to be ready. And so that was the test that she gives you. in order to get on the show. So we're getting all of this in, and they call me and they say, look, we're overwhelmed with, we got to get these products out. So we're asking everybody that has been on our team, could they take phone calls, or could she's, and then they assigned me to do phone calls and emails. So I actually helped them out during that influx, using my virtual assistant services. And she had to decide if she still wanted to go in the direction that we was working on, or if she wanted to go ahead and go in the manufacturer's direction and get into retail. And so, as you can see, they chose retail. And now she's probably a millionaire. Well, she's definitely a millionaire, but she doesn't even run her company. Her company kind of runs itself because she's so smart that she's into STEM and robotics, and she likes to represent women in that field. And she actually has a job doing that. And I think a part of, she did something, a part of NASA, something. I mean, this girl is like a total genius. So where's my? So I hope I'm not talking to y'all too much, but this is the last person that I wanted to share with you. But I wanted to, I'm gonna stop screen sharing for a second here, because I wanted to show you the um, video of her being in business for the last 20 years. She is on Instagram. You know what?
Eden Body Works. Wow, I can hardly believe it's been 20 years since I first founded Eden Body Works in my home in New Jersey. What started out as a pursuit of solutions for myself has turned into more than I could have imagined. A community, a movement, a legacy. But Eden has always been about more than just the products. It's been an opportunity to connect on topics like self-care, wellness, and embracing our natural beauty. 2 decades ago, I started Eden Body Works with a vision to create affordable, natural products that not only nourish our hair and skin, but also encourage women to embrace happier and healthier lives. Over the years, we've had some incredible moments, like celebrating our first of many national retail partnerships on The Oprah Winfrey Show. We've connected with girlfriends at events worldwide to educate about healthy hair practices, and partnered with hundreds of organizations and influencers who share our vision of promoting mental health, fitness, love, and care. Being the founder of this brand has been one of the greatest joys and learning experiences of my life. And as I'm celebrating this 20-year milestone, I'm also embracing a new chapter. One that's focused on building my technical career in robotics, embracing my blossoming new marriage, and making space for a family of my own. It's time for me to take this step. And I'm so grateful for the team at Eden who will carry the vision forward with the same dedication and passion that started it all. To everyone who's been a part of this journey, thank you. Eden's story is far from over. I cannot wait to see how it continues to grow and inspire. Here's to celebrating 20 years and many more successes to come. Cheers to the next chapter, and happy 20th anniversary, Eden Body Works.
All right. So that will conclude this portion of tonight's call. If you are still on the fence about whether or not you want to get your aromatherapy certification, now you can see the possibilities and what could actually happen. Being that this is spring break, I decided to do a spring break special and continue to extend the 50% discount at $275. It will be extended all the way through March 17th, which will be Monday. Since it's St. Patrick's Day, I'll go ahead and include Monday. So the link will go down on March 18th. So if you want to get in on that 50% discount, then you have to at least pay the deposit that we will negotiate the payment plans afterward. Or pay in full, however you feel like you can do it. So I hope that the examples that I showed you tonight of the different people that I work with will give you the inspiration needed to move forward in your aromatherapy journey.